Hello everybody, this is Lindsay from windingrowcrochet.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this very easy and practical hand towel. If you like this tutorial, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. For this pattern, I chose to use the Peaches and Cream Stripey yarn. It is a weight 4 worsted weight cotton yarn. We're going to need a total of 3 ounces. So since this is a 2-ounce skein, we are going to be using 2 of them. I just really liked how this naturally created stripes. We're also going to need a solid color as well. We're going to use 1 ounce of the H Crochet Peaches and Cream yarn as well. You'll need scissors, a yarn needle, and then we're using a size H 5mm crochet hook for this project. So let's go ahead and jump right into our project. We're going to make a slip knot and insert our hook, and we're just going to chain 45. If you want to make this wider, you definitely can. Any odd number of chains will work with this pattern. But for the pattern in the photos, we are going to chain 45. Once your chain is complete, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. But what I'm going to do is take my chain, turn it over, and single crochet into these back bumps of the chain because this will be our finished edge. So I'm single crocheting into the second chain from the hook. Then I'm going to double crochet into the next chain. If working into the back bumps is difficult for you, feel free to work into the chain any way that is comfortable. We're then going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then double crochet into the following stitch, and just keep repeating the single crochet, then double crochet all the way until the end of your chain. You want to make sure your last stitch of your first row is a double crochet. Now we are going to chain 1 and turn and start row 2. We're going to do the exact same thing, starting with a single crochet into the very first stitch, and followed by a double crochet in the next stitch, and then simply repeat. So single crochet into the next stitch, which you'll notice is at the top of a double crochet, and then double crochet into the next stitch, which is going into the single crochet of the previous row. So again, single crochet, double crochet, and continue repeating all the way down the row. When you reach the end of the row, once again we'll be finishing off with a double crochet into the very last stitch. And now all you need to do is keep repeating row 2 until you have a total of 43 rows. So chain 1 turn, single crochet into the first stitch, double crochet into the following stitch, and just repeat that stitch pattern. So here you can see my 43 rows, and I just loved how this stripe pattern worked in this project. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my last double crochet. So I'll yarn over, pull through 2, and before I complete this double crochet, I'm going to yarn over with my new yarn color and pull through the last 2 loops. I'm just going to clip my first yarn, and then I'll continue on with this solid color. So for row 44, we're just going to chain 1 and turn. You can see down here where I had to change over my skeins. So now for this row, all we are going to do is single crochet in every stitch across. So it doesn't matter what stitch you're working into previously, we are just going to single crochet in every stitch across. So when you reach the end of row 44, we're just going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to repeat 44. We're actually going to repeat 44 until we have a total of 18 rows in a solid color, or you can count it as a total of 61 rows in the entire project. It's whichever way is easier for you to keep track of. So here I've completed my 18 rows. I'm just going to work my very last stitch. And the last that we need to do with crocheting for this project is to add a loop. So in order to add a loop, I am just going to chain 10. Once I have 10 chained, I'm going to fasten off my yarn, leaving a good amount of length because I'm going to need to sew this chain into a loop. So I'm just going to take my yarn over one more time, pull through all the way through the last loop to fasten off. I'm going to thread my yarn through a needle, and then I'm just going to sew to the very last stitch of our last row. And I'm going to sew back and forth between the stitch and the last chain several times. This is going to create a loop that we can use to button the towel onto the rack, or that you can hang your towel from. It just depends what kind of towel holder you have. So after I've sewn that on, I'm just going to weave in my end. And I will do that for this end and all other ends that we have in this project. You do want to make sure you weave it back and forth at least 3 times, as I suspect this item will get used a lot and will have to be washed often. Once woven in, you can just clip your thread. If you would like to be able to button this towel in place around the towel holder, we're just going to go over to the other end, grab a 7/8 inch button, or about an inch button or so, grab some more yarn and our yarn needle, and simply sew this button in place. So to finish up our button, I'm just going to sew it on by creating an X through the 4 holes of the button. And then on the back side, I'm going to knot it together twice and sew in my yarn ends. Once it's completed, I did want to show you how to button this around a towel holder. And what I do have here is actually a towel ladder that my husband made me. So I'm going to use that as my example. So what I want to do is take the textured section and crumple it together in my hands. Then I'm going to take the solid color section, push it behind the rung, grab my button and my loop and pull those around the front of the towel and just button them together. Then you can just rearrange your towel so it looks nice and neat. And if someone grabs it, it's not going to come off the oven handle or off the towel holder in the bathroom. So I really hope you liked this tutorial. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.